9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
From the courtroom to social media, in the next 10 minutes, we'll get the lowdown on what's up with the fight for social justice. I'm Bethany Van Delft, and this is the 10 News. Last May, the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police sparked nationwide protests and drew global attention to the issue of police brutality and racial inequality in law enforcement in the United States. The trial of Derek Chauvin, the officer accused of killing George Floyd, began on March 29th and is still underway. Our correspondent, Pamela Kirkland, is here to explain what's happened so far and how a trial like this one works. You might want a grown-up with you while you listen to talk about what's going on and answer any questions you might have.
There's a major trial happening to find out whether the man accused of killing George Floyd is innocent or guilty. Derek Chauvin, a white former Minneapolis police officer, is accused of murder and manslaughter after kneeling on the neck of George Floyd, a black man, for nearly 10 minutes. It happened while Chauvin was arresting him for allegedly paying with a fake $20 bill at a convenience store. Cell phone video from the day shows Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck, Floyd saying he couldn't breathe, and a nearby crowd telling Chauvin to get up. Floyd's death sparked protests against racism and police brutality around the world. So if we already know what happened, why is there a trial? In a criminal trial like this one, there's a defendant, or the person accused of breaking the law, that's Derek Chauvin in this case, and there's a prosecutor, the person trying to prove the defendant did something wrong. It's the prosecutor that has the tougher job of proving the case because a defendant is considered innocent until proven guilty. Lawyers for Derek Chauvin say he was just doing what he was trained to do as a police officer and that his kneeling isn't the reason that George Floyd died. But the prosecutor says that Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's neck was an unnecessary use of force. During a trial, both sides present evidence to the judge to prove their case. They'll call witnesses to testify or explain what they saw. Those witnesses can be anyone from experts, like doctors, to regular people who just saw what happened. Chauvin's case is being presented in front of a jury, a group of 12 people picked by the court. And after hearing from both sides, the jury will make their decision of whether the defendant is innocent or guilty. As the trial began, some news sites and TV stations were wrongly calling this the George Floyd trial. And a lot of people called them out for it because that description isn't accurate. It makes it sound like Floyd is the one on trial, not the victim. It's the Derek Chauvin trial because Chauvin is the one who's on trial for his actions. Words are powerful, and it's important to remember that words matter.
Many people feel inspired to take action when they see injustice, including young people. 18-year-old activist Isra Hirsi is the daughter of Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and the co-executive director of U.S. Youth Climate Strike, which is dedicated to protecting the planet through activism and educating people on the ways climate change affects communities in unequal ways.
Awesome!
Studies show that communities of color and low-income areas feel the effects of climate change first and more severely. Isra's climate justice work involves making space for Muslim and Black youth leadership, which she feels is necessary for coming up with solutions to climate challenges that work for everyone.
Way to go!
She believes that there are many things that have created the climate crisis that we're facing, including capitalist economies that put making money ahead of the health of people or the environment. Isra's also great at using social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter to boost her voice and causes. She's even a featured guest at this year's VidCon, which brings together the world's leading digital creators and their fans.
Cool!
Okay, it's time for...
What?
What's the big idea?
Trivia on the 10. What did the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee recently say it will allow at upcoming Olympic trial events? A. Selfie stations, B. Political demonstrations, or C. An in-person audience? Did you guess it? The answer is B. Late last month, the USOPC said it will let athletes respectfully voice their political views, meaning they can do things like take a knee at a podium or wear a hat that says Trans Lives Matter.
Woohoo!
Still, that doesn't mean you'll see this at the main event. The USOPC is only in charge of the competitions that determine which athletes go on to represent the United States. Organizers of the Tokyo Olympics this August haven't announced any changes to their position on protests so far. The Olympic Charter allows no kind of demonstration.
Bummer.
But that hasn't stopped people in the past, like Tommy Smith and John Carlos. At the Summer Olympics in 1968, the American runners raised their fists as a symbol of support for the human rights movement as they stood on the podium after winning gold and bronze medals. Time's up, but before we go, here's a quick note for the grown-ups. Do you love free stuff and the 10 News? Awesome! Because we're giving away a 10 News t-shirt from our online store for free! Yes! Free 99. One lucky winner will pick their favorite t-shirt design from our store, and it's theirs. To enter for a chance to win and for full terms and conditions, click the link in the show notes or visit the10news.com/contest. And be sure to check out all the other fun stuff we have available like tote bags, masks, you name it, check it out. And good luck! Thanks for listening to the 10 News. Look out for new episodes on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and extras on Saturdays. The 10 News is a co-production of Small But Mighty Media and Next Chapter Podcasts, and it's distributed by iHeartRadio. The production and editorial team is a real force for good, including Tracy Crooks, Pete Musto, Ben Austin DeCampo, Jenner Pasqua, Stephen Tompkins, and Sarah Olander. Pamela Kirkland contributed to this episode. Our production director is Jeremiah Tittle, and the 10 News is executive produced by Donald Albright and show creator Tracy Leeds Kaplan. Do you want to be part of the show? We would love to have you. Have a grown-up help you record a question, a joke, or a fun fact you want to share, and email it to us at hello@the10news.com. And show your love for the 10 News by going to your favorite podcast app and submitting a rating and review. It helps others find the show so they can join the fun. I'm Bethany Van Delft, and thanks for listening to the 10 News.